In lesson 73, we're looking at radical denominators again. What we want to do is get rid of the radical in the denominator. And now we're going to have to multiply by the conjugate, which is simply changing the middle sign. So 2 plus 3 square roots of 3 is what we need to multiply the top and bottom by to cancel out the square root of 3 on the bottom. Okay, and when you multiply these, you're going to be foiling. So I'll multiply the 4 across, so I'll have 8 plus 12 square roots of 3, and then I'll multiply the square root of 3 across. So that's plus 2 square roots of 3 plus 3 times 3. Okay, and then I'll simplify that in just a bit. And then I'll do the same thing on the bottom and multiply my 2 across. So I'll have 4 plus 6 square roots of 3. And then I'll multiply the negative 3 square roots of 3 across. So minus 6 square roots of 3 minus 9 times 3. And these middle two cancel. So now in the denominator, I'm going to have 4 minus 27, so it's going to be a negative 23 on bottom. Then here this is a 9, so 8 plus 9 is 17. And then 12 square roots of 3 plus 2 square roots of 3, that is a positive 14 square roots of 3. And then this would be our answer. Now you always want to check and see if there's a common factor, and in this case they're not, but if they're all even numbers, you know you can take out or divide each of those by 2. Okay, in our next example, again, all we do is see what's in the denominator and then change the middle sign. So this should be 4 minus 3 square roots of 2. That's the conjugate that we need to multiply by. So I'll multiply the 4 across. So I'll have 16 minus 12 square roots of 2. And then I'll multiply the negative square root of 2 across. So minus 4 square roots of 2 plus 3 times 2. And then on the bottom, I'm doing the same process. I'll multiply the 4 across. So 16 minus 12 square roots of 2 again. And then I'll multiply 3 square roots of 2 across. So plus 12 square roots of 2. And then minus 9 times 2. Okay, and then I'll simplify here. So the middle terms cancel in the denominator, and that is a negative 18. So that'll be a negative 2 on bottom. And then on top, 3 times 2 is 6. So 16 plus 6, that's 22. And then a negative 12 minus 4, that's a negative 16. And then it's still the square root of 2. But you notice in this one, each of these are even numbers, so we can divide each by 2. And since the 2 on the bottom is negative, I'm going to divide each by a negative 2. That way, after I divide, I won't have a negative 1 left in the denominator. So this will be negative 11 plus 8 square roots of 2, and that will be our answer. In the last one here, we have a square root of 12, which can simplify before we start multiplying everything by the conjugate of the denominator. So this would simplify to 2 square roots of 3, because if you factor the 12, split those up into square roots, and the square root of 4 is 2, and the square root of 3 isn't a pretty number, so we leave it the square root of 3. It can't be simplified anymore. So then when we combine that with the 3, I need to multiply by the 3 that's already on the outside. So that changes to 6 square roots of 3. Okay, now these can be combined together. So 6 minus 2 is 4, and then it stays with the square root of 3. And then in the denominator, we'll have 3 square roots of 3 minus 2 square roots of 2. And that makes the problem just a little bit easier for us. So we can go ahead and multiply top and bottom by the conjugate, which is 3 square roots of 3 plus 2 square roots of 2. So I'll multiply this 4 square roots of 3 across, and that'll be 12 times 3 plus 8 square roots of 6. And then in the denominator, we'll have 9 times 3 plus 6 square roots of 6, then minus 6 square roots of 6, and then minus 4 times 2. So in the denominator, the middle terms cancel, and I need to go ahead and multiply those. So that's a 27, that's a negative 8, so on bottom I'll have a 19. Then on top I need to multiply the 12 and 3, that's 36. And then the plus 8 square roots of 6, I said 6, I wrote 3, square roots of 6 stays the same. So let me write that again. 36 plus 8 square root of 6 over 19 is our final answer on that. And this doesn't have any common factors, so I won't be able to reduce. Hopefully this helps. If you have any questions, feel free to email or ask in class.